Hello, everybody. Candace-Marie Mitcham here with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Silverhawk Realty, East Idaho, and you are joining me for the Lending Lounge. Today, I have Mike Morrison here with me from Movement Mortgage, and we are going to talk about interest rates, what's going on today, and we're going to talk about some new regulations that are going to benefit you as a consumer with multi-unit loans. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Hey, Mike, thank you so much for joining me today. I love being able to capture a few minutes of your precious time every week. So tell me, what do we have going on today with interest rates?
Yeah, interest rates. So we have peaked as a national average, believe it or not, we have peaked about 8%. That's what you're going to see in most of the headlines and things. So not moving in the right direction, unfortunately, here recently. However, we do believe we're getting very close to the peaks, and hopefully we'll start to see some retraction on that here, coming soon. But here's the thing, I guess I would think about as a consumer, right? If you're looking at that going, man, 7.5%, 8%, that's really, really high. Well, what if they keep going higher? Then it might behoove you to just go ahead and pull the trigger now if you feel like it's the right time for you. Again, we want you to feel comfortable and everything, but if you can afford it and you found a great house, you might want to pull the trigger now in case they do keep going up.
I would agree with you. Yeah, always with the caveat, if you can afford it, we don't want you to invest, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Get in that house that you love, get situated before you're competing with friends and neighbors for that exact same house, right? When it becomes a little bit easier for folks to go ahead and get loans and whatnot. Well, thank you for that. And thank you for always keeping us apprised on what's going on. And so you were going to give me some information on what's new with multi-unit lending. So tell us what's going on.
Yeah, we have a couple exciting pieces of news that have come out here in the month of October. So from that standpoint, it's been a great month. First, we have conventional loans. They have reduced their minimum down payments on multi-unit properties. That is duplexes, triplexes, and fourplexes. They used to be as high as 25% down, which is a very, very big number, right, for the prices of those properties. They are now down to 5% as a minimum down payment.
Now, 25% historically, that was even if you were going to occupy one of those units as your primary residence, right?
Exactly. Yep, exactly. And this guideline is specifically for that. If you're purely investing, it'll still be 25% down for those. But if you want to occupy one of the units and have it as your primary residence for a little while, maybe move out later and turn it into investment, great way to start without having to unload a whole bunch of cash. 5% down is a much more manageable number. And it just shows that the government is trying to help with affordability and give us more and more options to get people into housing affordably.
I'll tell you what, I have a client that I'm going to be making a phone call to right after this. So Brad, you know who you are. Expect my phone call.
Right. And one other thing to think about as a consumer and as an agent is, on multi-units, we get to use rents to help qualify the borrower. So what's fantastic about this is if you're somebody out there, you're seeing this video and you're going, well, gosh, I'm only qualified for $350,000. I can't afford a 4-unit property that's $600,000. You might be able to, because as a multi-unit, you're going to qualify for more than you would on a single family because we get to use rents to help you on the units you are not occupying. So that's a fantastic change.
For units have to already be occupied, so you're kind of guaranteed rent?
Or they do not. Nope, not when you're buying it. We get a rental survey from the appraiser. They will tell us what the market rents are for that, and we can use that whether they are occupied or not.
Awesome. That just makes it that much easier for everybody.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Awesome.
Yep. And then we had a second exciting change just announced last week. This one came from FHA specifically. So a person has always been able to buy a home with what's called an accessory unit or an ADU. It's basically a very tiny unit. Some would say a grandmother's unit, a mother-in-law unit, right? Something above the garage, a small house in the back. Sometimes they're little tiny units that are inside the house, but they're their own unit, kitchen, bathroom, bedroom, that type of thing. We've been able to buy those all the time, but we haven't been able to ever use rents to help us qualify. So FHA loosened up on that and said that they will now allow rents from accessory units. This again is nothing but a positive change. So if we use that same example, somebody's qualified for $350,000. You happen to find them a great property that's say $380,000, but it has an accessory unit. We might be able to get them to that by utilizing the rents from the accessory unit. So just increase what people can afford and what they can qualify for now.
Always bringing us the good news, Mike. We appreciate that. We need some good news in our day.
Good news is that we'll take it anytime.
Well, that's awesome. So have you been seeing anything else that's been coming up over the last few days? Maybe frequently asked questions from your consumers, any other little tidbits that maybe we should share with our viewers today?
The big one is always about rates, here in the last year. I think the important thing for consumers to remember is that there are tips and tricks and programs that we can use to help try to bring that rate down, whether we're using a permanent buy down, a temporary buy down. There is some flexibility, and buyers still have some negotiating power, right? With great agents like yourself that you can get. And hopefully we can do some things to help them bring that down and make the payment a little bit more affordable.
Yeah. And for those folks that haven't had a mortgage yet, or perhaps they've had a mortgage, but they haven't utilized a buy down before, can you give us a brief description of what that entails?
Yeah, it's basically just paying a little bit more money now at closing time in order to secure a lower rate for the long-term future. And so it can be a great trade-off. As a loan officer, I do want to talk to you. I want to see what your long and short-term goals are with the property, what your financial situation is. There are reasons to do that or not do that. So we'll guide you through that. But that's basically what it is. You just pay a little bit more money now to secure a lower payment over a long period of time.
So if we have somebody ideally who they're able to utilize one of these programs that gets them in for less of a down payment, but they had the money in reserves for a full 20% down payment, something like that, they could then in turn, if it made sense for them, use some of those extra funds and do a buy down and maybe get them from 8% to 7.5%, something like that, thereby saving them money in the long-term life of the loan.
Exactly. Couldn't have said it better myself.
All right. Hey, higher math.
Yeah.
Well, perfect. Well, thank you so much. As always, we very much appreciate your time. And now, can you remind our viewers, because we are going to be on social media, so we're not just going to be talking to people here in Idaho, where are you licensed to go ahead and be somebody's loan officer?
I am personally licensed in the states of Idaho, Washington, Oregon, and California. And then my office and my company are licensed in all 50 states, so we can help people anywhere.
Awesome. So Movement Mortgage, you can really get people moving anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. And you have a wonderful rest of your week, Mike.
You too. Thank you, Candace.